Hey everybody, what's going on? Emo Temp is here, wrapping up the day and the weekend, sitting with a good friend, Alex from the Forwads of Light. I'm really happy that he got, what, it was a top 4 finish? Top 4 finish, piloting his Chaos Rydia deck. Very similar, I call them color piles, but you know.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, so Alex, please go over the list for us really quick and talk about what your choices and how the day went.
Cool. Okay, I guess I'll start with the deck. So I'll start with the forwards and to the summons and the backups.
You got it.
So this is a Rydia deck first and foremost. So we have 3 copies of Rydia. Rydia along with 2 copies of Porom, the one that grabs back a summon, 1 copy of Porom, the one that blinks 4 to 5 or less, and then 2 copies of Rosa, and 2 copies of Fusoya. And this is basically the 4 package of the deck, category 4. Getting to at least 4 counters on Rydia means I can cast most summons in my deck, and we'll go over that once I get to the summons. But being able to like free cast Sildra, Amaterasu, and Mist Dragon is like the benefit of the deck, and having this amount of 4 characters has worked for me throughout the day. I like this ratio of the Porom split between the 2 and the 1. I find that this is really good against 13, and it's searchable off Sildra, so in the event that I needed just to shut off the lightning, then I can do that. This Porom's really good because I can basically instant speed grab a summon back using the other very infamous forward of the deck, Warrior of Light. And being able to tap Warrior of Light to deal 5k to the Porom, allowing me to grab back a summon, has come in handy quite often in this event. So Rosa and Fusoya are also here. Rosa helps to benefit Warrior of Light and Une, allowing me to be able to use Une's ability once on my turn and my opponent's turn, and then also being able to shoot something for 10,000 damage with Warrior of Light and allowing him to swing. It's just a really solid combo. I really love Rosa in this deck, just for the amount that I can extend my plays. Because I'm doing multiple colors, Fusoya is really strong because it allows me to grab back summons, bounce characters. Things I was worried about was like Arcanist if I was to fight against Ice, or even just like bouncing backups in the mirrors against Warrior of Light to prevent them from being able to hard cast him off their backups. Yeah, Fusoya has definitely been a very handy card as well. The last of the forwards, and I guess the other reason for the name is Chaos. So I opted to play a Rydia package but include Chaos and Arc because I wanted to have something to go up against the mirror that made the mirror a little bit easier for me. Including Chaos felt like I wasn't able to include like other things like Cecil or Zidane or like Sophie, other tech pieces that might have made the deck a lot stronger, but I was definitely worried that I was going to fight a lot of rainbow decks, other soiree decks included, so I wanted to make sure that I had just basically an easy answer, especially playing against Earth. If they cast a Shantoto, being able to have a free Chaos and then an Arc right afterwards, and being able to recur the Arc off of Une and Porom feels really good. I'll never really get to 10 counters off the Rydia, so I can't like cast the Arc for free, but it happened once, just not today. But yeah, so this is the forward lineup. It is, I think 18 forwards. But yeah, so this has been really solid for me so far. Starting with the summons, 1 copy of Asura, just to be able to activate my backups in the event that like my Tyro Shantoto is up, or my Princess Sarah if I've called Wind, to be able to activate my backups and then do Warrior of Light or grab back like Porom or Rydia. 3 copies of Kusith. The EX burst is always nice, but Kusith and Une is just a cycle of being able to just replay forwards and let me have anything that's in my break zone that have the replay ability, and it's super strong. 1 copy of Hekatonkair. This I felt like was going to be strong in like the mirror, especially because I didn't want to have to deal with like Tyro or Thornton if they were playing that build in soiree. Also against Althea and Wind, in the event that I ran into any Wind, Hekatonkair would be really strong. Next is Mist Dragon and Amaterasu and Sildra. So these are definitely the summons I want to like free cast off of Rydia to get the most value. Sealed is just pretty self-explanatory. Being able to grab 2 water characters allowed me to fix for technically anything here, and because they're all different costs, it feels really strong. Amaterasu on my opponent's turn, Mist Dragon also on my opponent's turn to counter any of their recursion or auto abilities, and being able to do all that off Rydia is great, but because I have color fixing in my backups, being able to hard cast that is also very nice. Last 2 summons is Hekatonkyre and Arc. Hekatonkyre, definitely running 3 only because I was afraid that there was going to be like 13 here and I was going to have to fight against 13, and Hekatonkyre is just a nice easy answer in the event that I don't draw the Shantoto. So that's why I've opted for 3. If I was to like think about how the day went and then what I would change about the deck, I think I would just probably bump that down to 2 and then give me a slot elsewhere. But Hekatonkyre has been really nice, so I've enjoyed using it. And then Arc is just phenomenal with Chaos. Even just playing the Chaos, even if the Chaos gets Amaterasu, being able to cast the Arc for free in response and break something and then make my opponent discard 2 cards is such a wonderful like value play. So yeah, so this is my little, those 3 right there are definitely the core, and then Warrior of Light and Une for sure. Backups, just to go over that quickly. Got the Princess Sarah, which is searchable off of the 4-drop Sarah backup. We got my Moogles here to help me color fix water and fire. The Sarah's here to let me search for a princess. This is really my only target, but having her be able to search for herself is nice in the event that I need a player after I've already drawn her, which has happened. Then we have Cryle here. I know that there are some decks that were not playing Cryle, or they were opting to do the 2-drop Earth Ninja, I think from Opus 3. That's also completely viable against 13. I just decided that I would rather have the Cryle, I think, to be able to recur my summons, and since I was doing summon heavy things, it felt more comfortable for me to do that, so I decided to do that instead. 1 copy of Ketchi, just to be able to grab just a forward, especially if I have to pitch a Warrior of Light early. Then if I'm able to bring it back, then that feels fantastic. And the more self-explanatory backups, Tyro and Shantoto. So 3 copies of Tyro. I know that with a lot of people anticipating that there were going to be rainbow decks and then possibly a lot of backup destruction, a lot of people were thinking, oh, should I even play Tyro? It feels too slow, but I think Tyro is just perfect, being able to, in the moment, did you play a Shantoto? Do you have something I can steal? I'll grab Chaos. Is this the last of the 4 backups I need? Then I'll grab my Warrior of Light. So the EX burst is always nice. The ability is really strong. The power boost hasn't really, isn't necessary as much, but it's just a nice little icing on the cake. And Shantoto, because who doesn't love a board wipe? And it's just so versatile because it gets to pay for any element, allows me to play my Warrior of Light and everything else here. So that is Chaotia. So I guess talk about the day, right?
Yeah, well, my first question is actually, what were some of the toughest matchups, I guess, for the weekend?
Oh God. Okay, so I built this deck in anticipation that I would fight the Rainbow Mirror, 13, Ice variants, and yeah, those were the 3 and Soiree. Those were the 4 decks I was really thinking about going into this weekend. And Swiss was really great, and then I fought Oki, and then he was playing a mono water deck, and I'm just like, oh, this is useless. So that was definitely a really fun match because it just kind of threw me for a loop, and I was not expecting it, and it was very wonderful to play against. And yeah, that was my only loss in Swiss. Every match felt good in Swiss except for the one when I was fighting mono water. And then in Top Cut, so today I fought the Mirror in top 16. That was a really good back and forth game. They were playing Cecil and Sophie, amongst other cards too. Basically the cards that I would have opted to play if I was not playing Chaos and Arc, but since that was also a rainbow deck and since I was anticipating it, I feel like Chaos and Arc were able to kind of give me some edge in that, being able to cast Chaos for cheap. But it was such a close match, and it was really, really fun. Shout out to Sergio.
Would you say that was your most difficult match?
Honestly, it was really tough, and you made me learn a lot of things. So yeah, of course, yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah, of course, sure. And then let's see, top eight was against Ray Chow, I think, and then he was playing Wind Lightning. It was like a mix of like summons. He also had a Chaos Arc package, but he did it at 3/3 each, and obviously he was definitely anticipating the Rainbow matchup. That was definitely difficult, and that last game we went to turns, and I was just barely able to stabilize, being able to play Warrior of Light, having the Une live, tapping the Une, grabbing Kusith, and then just kind of exploding from there, allowing me to play Rosa. That was a really tough game though, especially with the Wind Zidane, being able to grab a lot of my key pieces, and then also letting him be able to use it, such as my Amaterasu and my Mist Dragon. So that was really tough. But yeah, and then I fought top 4, and I fought Oki, and I was like, I already fought you in Swiss, so yeah, I already know how this is gonna go. But honestly, yeah, that was the days that happened, and really good matches with everyone. Top Cut definitely was the hardest, but so far I was really proud of like how I was able to maneuver the deck and how the deck played and the ratios I committed to, and yeah, I am definitely proud of my results therefore. So
Okay, I only have just 2 more questions for you before I let you go.
For sure.
Do you think the Chaos Arc package is something that should be considered for bigger tournaments or just in general?
I think, what is it? I opted to play this package because I was anticipating possibly fighting against other Rainbow decks if that felt like something that people were feeling they were going to play. Then I would suggest maybe playing like some Chaos or Arc, but because it's a dark card, I guess it kind of feels like you can kind of shoehorn it into whatever deck you make, but because the Rydia package already works so well, finding the spots for these helped to kind of make this like an anti-Rydia deck. But I would say, because I was already anticipating fighting like Rydia and Soiree, I opted to play these, so if people were feeling like it was going to be the same thing for their events, then I don't see why not including this. People are playing 3/3, like 3 Chaos and 3 Arc, and I found that with that ratio, it like clunked my hand too often, and I just didn't feel as good. So I just decided to drop these down to 2, and it worked for me.
Cool. And after obviously having such a great day, are there any changes to this whole like list that you'd consider or that you've thought of?
A good question. I would really love to add Cecil. I think, what is it? So, Ghoul was fighting Kyle Peters in top 4 as well, and I got to look at that match as ours finished pretty quickly. So they went to game 3. So I would have to see the VOD to see like how that match went, but I feel like Cecil must have been really nice in that, because being able to just kind of like tax water and slow that down a bit would have been a really great tool to have at my disposal when I fought against Mono Water as well. Definitely thinking Cecil would be nice. In terms of like other cards, I know some people opted to play Zidane, the Fire Wind one. I don't know how I feel about that really, because there's no easy way to get wind except for like Sarah, Princess Sarah, and then the fire off of like Cast Forth Mughal or Tyro. So it's possible. It's not like impossible to do. So yeah, probably like Cecil, maybe Zidane. Yeah, maybe another Mist Dragon or Amaterasu, but other than that, I feel like my ratios served me well today, so hard to say if I would to like add any or like change much to like the 7 lineup.
Yeah, that's all I needed to hear. All right, well, thank you so much, Alex. Again, congratulations on on a wonderful day of cards.
Thank you.
Guys, everyone listening, the deck will be in the description below as soon as I get it. And obviously, make sure to follow the Forwards of Light on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
And they
And
stream every
Facebook.
now and then.
Yeah, and
but
I stream every now and then. I need to get back. I need to start getting back into it. Yeah.
We all do, trust me.
It was difficult because it's like competitive season.
Yeah, yeah,
So now
we're-
you're trying to balance like content, and then you want to like obviously balance like getting your reps in and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and try to keep the secrets hidden too, right? Like,
Right. Just here's my grand reveal.
Yeah, exactly. So, but of course, those links will be in the description below. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and
Thank
take care.
you. Thank you so much.